and what anchors in this holy and sacred space with this union of hearts and minds, the call to be of higher service, the call to follow the soul pulse, the call to continue on the path of light and unconditional love. And what flows in here now is a pure crystalline energy. This crystalline energy that comes in multiple sacred geometric forms. It is pure and clear, transluted, and emanating a highlight that is undescribable, for it does not come of this world. And we know that each and every holy, sacred in-breath and out-breath anchors this illumination, this pristine and pure crystalline light coming in through the various geometries, angles, ley lines, power points, to reach us here in this moment, in this eternal now. We immediately connect and understand the great power and blessing that comes forth. And we are grateful and we are humble. And so our sacred, holy in-breath and out-breath automatically has the most perfect rhythm for our physical, mental, and emotional bodies to align in perfection, to receive and integrate into this pure crystalline geometry emanating from the higher worlds to reach us here in this moment. That the very blood crystals within the blood, our own crystalline matrix, begins to vibrate and entrain with this higher crystalline emanation. And so we breathe each and every holy, sacred in-breath and out-breath, for it is not the regular, rarefied air that we breathe. It is infused with this pristine purity of crystalline brilliance coming from the upper worlds, coming with great benevolence, great love, this purity that seeks us as we seek it is a beautiful symbol of the brilliance that we anchor as we move forward on our path of illumination, purpose, and co-creation. And so we simply breathe the holy in-breath and out-breath, ever mindful in the remembering that we breathe the breath of Brahma, we breathe the breath of God, that the divine breathes in and through us. And we remember our alignment and our connection to this glorious fact. And without effort, all concerns of the day-to-day material world just fade away. Because this energy calls for our undivided attention. And its loving emanation, its grandeur and its beauty, beyond description, sends forth the higher diamond codes of the upper worlds. That with each and every holy sacred in-breath and out-breath, we are infused in this diamond white light. It comes as a great infusion of the higher codes of peace, balance, strength. And as we breathe each and every holy sacred in-breath and out-breath, quickly, our vibrations are now accelerated. Our very electron spin accelerates. Our own illumination of our own heart and higher heart, and our own diamond heart, our own pure crystalline heart, our own energy bodies, our own higher self, our own higher chakras, all come into this sacred alignment, this sacred geometry, this sacred angle, connecting to the upper worlds through this sacred crystalline geometries. And we find easily, effortlessly, we find ourselves flowing in, through, and out this crystalline geometry. We move through the sacred angles, through the great nodes, through the power points. We move in and through as we become aware of the Christ consciousness grid, the divine cosmic Christ, the divine Maitreya, coming into the higher earthly planes. And it calls for the children of the light, the children of the earth who have not forgotten, to blend their own sacred geometry, their own crystalline matrix, to make this illumined contact, to be that point as a great transmitter, as a great antenna, to pass on these codes of light, using your own skeletal, your own crystalline matrix, even as your crystalline matrix begins to replace the carbon as you are the new human in process. And as you become more integrated with these higher parts of yourselves connected to the upper worlds, that you can bring forth the sustainability in holding this, even as you walk a physical, mental, and emotional world. You create, beloveds, your own dynamic, separate and apart from the lower vibrational expression of the human unconscious and the human experience. For you choose to vibrate, you choose to walk into the luminosity of the higher light, the higher thought forms of the upper worlds. We assure you, beloveds, in these tears of the upper worlds, your prayers, your hopes, your desires, your challenges do not go unnoticed. And yet, you persevere, you walk the path that narrows. And as you walk that path, great alchemy takes place, beloveds. It is a path where all ascended masters, all beings have walked. And we say to you, beloveds, this is your time. This is your opportunity. And so now you will begin to feel a stirring on the top of your heads. Take a moment and breathe and feel, sense, and know the subtle energies that begin to flow into your physical, mental, and emotional bodies. Some will feel it upon the top of the head. Some will feel it upon the skin, in the hair, in the palms of the hand, in the soles of the feet. In whichever way this energy comes to you, acknowledge it. For most, you will feel it in the soft spot on top of the head. Bring your attention to a sensation that will be starting and has started in the small part, the softest part of the brain, the part when babies are born are still very malleable. It is this section. We want you to put your intention and attention. For this sacred crystalline matrix of light, the divine illumination of purity and pristine godliness and divinity enters through this spot. And with each and every holy sacred in-breath and out-breath, you anchor this, you draw it in, you receive it as if in your higher vibration, you are a great receptor. This is a natural blending and communion of heaven and earth. And as you begin to feel the sensation, as it becomes more evident on the top of your head, in this spot, as you breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath, this divine alchemy of the crystalline matrix of illumined light, coming in through the divine Christ grid, the cosmic Christ divine Maitreya energies, picking up all the sacred codes as it moves into the gravitational pull of the sacred earth mother. Bringing forth a divine and sacred alchemy, anchoring deep within the tops of the crown chakra of all those who have activated it on some level. In whichever perfect octave that works for you, it comes through now. And with each and every holy sacred breath, you receive this divine grace and blessing that comes through the top of the head. And as it does, it activates the Kether crown, coming from the ascended realms, moving closer into your physical, mental, and emotional bodies. This divine Kether crown is the illumination that their coins have seen on the saints, on the angelics, and on the masters of light. And so we simply ask you to breathe each and every holy sacred in-breath and out-breath, totally engaged and in the experience of this now, making note as to how this sacred energy feels, how you sense it, and how you know it. This will continue to pour in. And so we will take these few moments here now simply to experience this, to receive it with grateful hearts. The energy continues to flow. So we will simply breathe and receive. Breathe and receive. Breathe and receive this divine, sacred grace. And as this divine sacred energy, this crystalline purity, this illumination of brilliance beyond description, as it moves into your own crystalline matrix, in the physical, mental, emotional bodies and beyond that, to where you are one with it, it is one with you. In its purity, it cleanses, it clears, it balances, and it heals. As it seeks the higher entrainment, a natural response to move to the higher frequencies of illumined light, moving in through the sacred waveforms of unconditional love. And now in this elevated presence, in the tapping into the higher parts of ourselves, even as we are grounded into a physical, mental, and emotional world, we tap into our interdimensional expressions of multiple levels, many things at once. And as we are in great communion with this matrix of illumined crystalline light into its angles, into its power points and nodes, wherever we find ourselves in the higher expression of this crystalline matrix, which is part of a higher sacred geometry, which is part of a higher sacred geometry, which is part of a higher sacred geometry of the upper worlds. Wherever we are in this moment, in this sacred platform of this crystalline sacred geometry, wherever we find ourselves, we hold our positions. And now linked in heart and mind with each other and the greater family of light, all the radiant ones who have come from all dimensions, from all realms, from all expressions of the divine, to bring forth a singularity of intention, of mission, of purpose. And we bring into our spiritual eye, in the re-remembering that we are co-creators and we hold the sacred similitude and image of the divine, our connection to the upper worlds, our connection to the source. And we hold our positions on this multi-layered, multi-dimensional experience in higher service. Only we can hold our unique and special spot and become part of the grand collective of the sacred divine plan. And together now, we bring forth in our spiritual eye our sacred Earth Mother, our service to her, the reason we are here, the re-remembering of the divine plan, the multidimensional agreements, partnerships, and communion. We hold our positions in this grand crystalline matrix, bringing in the cosmic Christ and the divine Maitreya codes coming from the highest realms. And we hold her vision. We see her clearly. This blue pearl that holds great significance, holds the magnitude of diversity and the codes of creation. And we bring her into this divine, sacred, crystalline matrix, seeing her ley lines, her grids, as we are integrated with her and integrated with the higher worlds. We bring her front and center. We hold her in this grand and great multi-dimensional matrix of crystalline light and codes of peace, balance, healing, purification. We hold her with our loving hearts. We see the illumined crystalline matrix intensified, blended and incorporated into the higher matrix of light. Just as it courses through our own matrix of crystalline, so too we hold it for our Earth Mother, where no longer one is discernible from the other, as it is all one, receiving from the upper worlds the sacred higher geometries of crystalline light, bringing in the sacred and holy codes, aligning once again with the higher purpose, the higher mission. Clearing away the debris, the distortions, the miscreations, the imbalances, the contamination. All disconnections now once again connected. All imbalances now balanced. Hold this, hold this, hold this energy a few more moments. That there is a complete and total integration, a sacred communion, a grand alignment. Even as we can feel this profound, perfect balance and peace, this outpouring of unconditional love and purity, this sense of the luminosity and the perfection of upper worlds, as we hold on to the higher thought forms, anchor it deeply into our hearts and minds, as we fully intend to integrate this experience on all levels of ourselves, as we anchor it deep into the physical, mental, and emotional bodies of ourselves, as we intend here now to continue the process even in our dream state, as we are in great gratitude for our own balance, our own healing, our own peace, and the removal of blockages, once again replaced with the higher codes of the upper worlds. We know that we must return even as we would stay here forever. And so just these few more moments now, we intend to remember this experience, what it is like, what we sense, and our tethering to the upper worlds that we nurture, that we can hold consistently, even upon a physical, mental, and emotional world. And so the thought of the return comes, and as such, the energies begin to step down. And the family of light and the creation of this begin slowly to draw in their electromagnetic field as we begin to draw in ours. And as we look in our positions and see our beautiful Earth Mother fade into this crystalline matrix as the matrix begins to fade and go back to its source. And we intend to be back into our physical, mental, and emotional bodies, centered and anchored and grounded on the count of 3. Remembering to remember the experience before we go to sleep. 1, 2, take a very deep breath in, and 3.